I'm going to have a conversation here today with the Rowekamps, and they're going to talk about some opportunities that they have had with the Sons of Norway. So let's start with this lady, and your name is?
Krista Rowekamp.
Okay, and Krista, you are a son of Norway?
I am. I'm a Sons of Norway member at the Fagernes Lodge in Blair.
Okay, and so you have Norwegian heritage.
I do. My father is 100% Norwegian, so I'm half Norwegian, and so my children are actually only 25%. But my family, our Norwegian heritage was a big part of our life and a big part of my upbringing. So kind of that Norwegian heritage and culture is just really something that I continued with my own children.
I think that's great. How long have you been with the Sons of Norway?
Ofte. Since 2019, I was with the Sons of Norway, originally in the Blacker Falls. And then when that closed, we went over to Blair.
Okay. And that's great. And it's something that has something for everybody in your family.
Yes, so I'm a member, and then my son is a legacy member, and so is my daughter. And so they kind of started coming with me when they were younger, just kind of to learn a little bit more about, again, the Norwegian culture. But then they had the opportunity through Sons of Norway to attend a camp, Masse Moro. It's a Norwegian heritage camp. And then through Sons of Norway, who actually runs the camp, it's through our District 5. So a large group of the Sons of Norway group puts on this camp, and so my kids have the opportunity to go to camp. And so Weston's going to talk a little bit more about his experience with Masse Moro.
Yeah, that's fine. So where is this camp?
So Masse Moro is at the Beaver Creek Reserve down at Fall Creek.
Oh, okay, up by Eau Claire.
Yeah.
And how big of a camp is it? I mean, how many kids show up, or people, or whoever?
It's like 40-ish. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
It ranges every year.
And so what do you do at this camp?
So at this camp, we basically speak a bunch of Norwegian. So every day we have like different language classes that we learn Norwegian at. Then we have different times where we like play Norwegian games, like Canutt Lake, which is like field hockey with baseball bats.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's with football bats, so it's a little bit less violent.
Okay.
And then also like Neftafel, which is Viking chess.
And how is that different than regular chess?
It's basically as if like the rook piece, if every piece was a rook. So there's two different sides. There's the attacking and the defending. The attacking side wants to get their king, their main piece, out of the area and into one of the four corners. The defending piece wants to block off four of the corners and then take out the king by surrounding him.
So that's a little different. What other games? You tell me the one, what do they call it? Kuba or Kuba? Or?
Koob. So
Koob.
Koob is basically, there's these wooden blocks, and then you have a long wooden like stick, battalion, whatever, and you throw those sticks at the other pieces, at the other team's coops, and your goal is to knock them all down.
Okay, and I have seen that played. I think that maybe it's getting more popular again.
Yeah, the Eau Claire actually hosts the U.S. National Coup, and it's actually the weekend before Masse Moro every year. So we kind of have a tradition that on the Sunday before going to Masse Moro, we go up to Eau Claire to go watch the Coup tournament.
Finals, yeah.
And then the finals, yep, and then we go to Masse Moro after that.
Yeah.
And so what other things do you do at camp? What do you play?
Basically what it is we learn different parts of like Norwegian history. So one of them was a butter game it's butter in Norwegian smør. So we have a whole different game revolved around smør, and we do different activities with a small group of people. So we do that, and it like changes every time. So like one day we learned about like Nazi Germany and Norway and like the resistance with that. Mm-hmm. And then other times we learned with the Starry Night, Scream, when the Stream painting got stolen in Norway. We did a whole game about trying to find that.
And what about Norwegian food?
Yeah, so at dinners, we're only allowed to speak Norwegian, like Norwegian. So we have to talk to each other in Norwegian. We had to start conversations in Norwegian. It's kind of difficult, but it's kind of fun, actually. Just speaking bad Norwegian and then making conversations with that. But we eat mostly American food.
Okay.
Some Norwegian foods, like we have banquets where we have like a party dance. And before then we have a big dinner. We have lefse, we have meatballs. Sometimes we don't have lutefisk anymore, but it's always really good.
Yeah,
What about that
they
pickled
kinda
fish?
They stopped doing herring and lutefisk just because the campers weren't really interested in eating those things.
Yeah.
And those are quite expensive. So breakfast is probably the bigger Norwegian meal of the day for them. The Frokast, or their breakfast, is when they have like a lot of open-faced sandwiches. That's a kind of more of a Norwegian thing. And then they also do a lot of baked goods. They have a baker who's been there for probably 30-some years that makes fresh breads and desserts, or like pastries, things like that. So the breakfast is kind of more of a traditional Norwegian breakfast. And then the other meals, just because you're feeding 40-some, teenagers.
Yeah.
And so then the rest of the meals tend to be a little bit more basic type meals.
Yeah.
However, they do have, they did ribs one year, last year, that was more of a Norwegian style rib, so it's done a little bit differently. Norwegian cuisine is a little bit bland at times too, and it's a lot more meat and potatoes type of meals. So they just kind of do a little bit of everything.
Do they make lefse?
Yep. So
Okay.
I think it's the one in Blair.
Then they also do a lefse making class sometimes.
Yes, we do.
And then they get
Baking
lefse
class.
there. And then they do a krumkake making class. And they have done other baked goods. I think one year you guys did the Norwegian wedding cakes. And they've done different people will come in and actually teach classes. And so, for instance, a couple of our Sons of Norway members have actually come in and taught those classes. So we have one
neat.
that comes in and does a krumkake. So she'll come in for part of the week and teach the kids how to make krumkake. And then we have another one of our members who comes in and he shows them how to do wood carving. So the kids can sign up for classes during those 2 weeks that they're at camp, and they can choose what classes they want to take. And so they have people teaching those classes. In the past, they've had rose mauling. They've done just some drama type classes. They've done just some kind of arts and crafts types of things, and then some more of those traditional Norwegian crafts and treats.
Now, have either of you ever been to Norway?
We have not, but my sister, Kylan Rowekamp, she's a foreign exchange student right now in Norway.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so she graduated from Masse Moro, I think last year, because you age out at 15. So
Okay.
I'm 15, so this is going to be my last year. But basically, she saved up a bunch of money and went to Norway.
And she's there right now?
Yes, and then at end of June, we're going to be visiting her and taking her back.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah, so she is spending her junior year in Norway, and part of her reason
great.
for wanting to go to Norway is her time at Masse Moro. Her 5 years that she was at Masse Moro and learning about it, she just really wanted to do more with it. So she's spending the year. Then this summer when she comes back in July, is home for about 4 days, and then actually goes right to Masse Moro as a counselor. So she's going to be spending her first year as a counselor there. So she's really excited for that. So we are all going over in June to go see where she lived and go see where she's at, and then we're going to fly back with Kylan on our way back from Norway.
What part of Norway is she in?
She is just north of Oslo. It's Rafos or Reinsvoll. It's just south of Jorvik, and that is kind of across from Lillehammer or Hamar, which is actually where my family is from. My great-grandmother is from Stange, which is just kind of on the other side of the river. So when we go over to Norway to visit Kylan, we're going to have an opportunity to actually go to the church where my great-grandmother was baptized and confirmed. So we're going to go over to that, and then we're going to go and see the fjords. But she's had a lot of opportunities as a foreign exchange student. She was just up in Trondheim this weekend. One of her friends is from Slavard, which is an island in the northern part of, it's actually up in the Arctic Circle, so it's about as far north as you can get. She actually went up there and stayed for a few days as well. So she's been able to travel. She's gone down to Oslo quite often. So she's been able to travel throughout. And then when we get there, we're going to go kind of to the Bergen side and kind of more of that western side as well.
Everybody that's been there loves Norway. They say it's expensive, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. And can you tell me what Masse Moro means? What's that? How does that translate?
I believe it's more fun.
More fun.
I believe Masse Moro is more fun. And they kind of talk about, at camp, they call it Masse Norwegian. So when they're learning Norwegian, they call it Masse Norwegian. And it's maybe not true Norwegian because it's, you're only doing it for 2 weeks. So you're kind of learning as much as you can in those 2 weeks. but then the kids don't necessarily use, the verb agreements and things like that that you would learn if you were taking a class.
Sure, the more formal.
Yeah. But they've been really fortunate at camp that they actually have a couple of counselors actually lived in Norway for a couple of years when they were younger. So they have them that are fluent in Norwegian, and then they actually last year had a counselor who was from Norway that he came there for 2 weeks, and so he was fluent in Norwegian, and then they have a few other counselors that are quite fluent. And then this camp, because I believe there's only 2 like it, where it's more of a for fun, 2-week-long heritage camp. I only know of 2 in the United States that are similar to this. So we actually have campers and counselors from all over the country. There's people from Texas that come up.
Wow.
Washington, D.C. One of Weston's good friends is from Chicago. There's people from California. We being in Maryland are probably about one of the closer ones actually to Masse Moro. There's a few that come from Eau Claire, but most of them actually come from out of the state and out of the region. And because it's such a opportunity that they've had for so many years, I believe, I don't know if we're on their 50th year or 60th year. I believe it started in the 70s. I don't know the exact date when Masse Moro started, but they've had it for so many years that a lot of the campers are actually their parents went, and potentially grandparents went. So it's something that has been going on for years. A lot of people pass it down to their own kids or grandkids, and so that's a nice thing with Sons in Norway, is that we have a lot of members that are trying to get their grandkids to be a part of it. And Weston's been really fortunate that he's been able to apply for and be awarded a grant from our Sons in Norway, the Fagernes Lodge, as well as District 5, that have given him a scholarship to help pay for this camp to attend. So we've been really fortunate with that. But there are opportunities for other people, if they're not part of Sons in Norway, to be able to look into getting some of those scholarships. Otherwise, anyone can go to the camp. You don't have to be directly in any way related or connected to Sons in Norway. It is open for anyone who would be interested in learning more about their Norwegian heritage. And again, with it being a 2-week camp, it's a little bit different than a traditional camp because, like Weston, this will be his 6th year, I believe.
I think so.
It's the same kids that come every year because it's only those 2 weeks that you have those same kids come every year for those 2 weeks. Where if you go to a traditional camp, the likelihood of seeing your friends, they have a whole summer of camp, so you might not be there the same week.
Yeah.
So this, I know my kids have really enjoyed the relationships that they have built with the other campers because they get to know them a little bit more with it being a 2-week-long time, and then also every year seeing those same people.
Yeah.
And same with the counselors. They have counselors that are adults that have jobs, and they will take off 2 weeks of work to come and work at this camp because it was something that was so important to them when they were a child, that we have, these adults, people that have full-time jobs that take off work and use their time, their paid time off, to come to camp and their vacation stays. So that's been really kind of a special thing too. And so for them, it's kind of like coming back to family. You kind of create a bit of a family there. And with even the counselors, they kind of create a bit of a family because they're able to see each other year after year.
Well, that sounds terrific. I mean, it really does sound like a lot of fun. And I think it's always good to take the opportunity to have, new opportunities and new experiences and meet new people. And I think that's great. And also to celebrate your Norwegian heritage.
Yeah. And the thing that's been neat for me is my children, the things that they'll talk about. There's things that I didn't know about Norway and things that we've been able to have conversations when they get back and that they have learned, and just the Norwegian myths, and there's just so much that they have learned through there. And again, like Weston said, they do it through games. So they're learning about the Nazi resistance in Norway and how Norway was a big part of them, but they do it in a fun game way of learning it. So they learn so much, but you're able to keep these kiddos entertained because I believe you at 9 years through 15 you can go to camp. So we have some younger kiddos that are there that are, again, learning so much about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I really want to thank you for taking the time to tell us all about Sons in Norway and Masse Moro and sharing your Norwegian heritage with us. And I think a round of applause should go to the Sons in Norway for making these grants available.
Yeah, that is. And if anyone is ever interested, if you go to Masse Moro and Google search it, I don't know the exact website, but it's MASSE, M-O-R.
Okay.
So Masse
This
Moro.
Helps.
Yep.
There we go.
They have
That's
a
great.
Facebook group as well as a website. So if anyone was ever interested in applying to go to camp, there would be an opportunity for them to be able to go on that website. Also, if there's an adult that would like to be able to volunteer, they're always looking for volunteers. If someone has kind of a specialty or a trade or something that they know, like a arts or crafts or project, a Norwegian type of one, and would like to share that, they would always be they always love to have people come in and help with that. So even if there's some adults out there that would like to go to camp and find a way to be able to share, they can come just, for an hour or two a day and just kind of share what they know too.
Well, that's great. Well, I want to thank you folks for taking the time to come and talk to us about this. And I hope you have a wonderful time when you go to Norway this summer.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What kind of food have you got here today?
Well, we've got some egg bake, and some wonderful hash browns, and herring, which is called sill. That's what it is. Sausages, num num num, and some sweets and fruit. Oh yeah, and then we got Norwegian pancakes and Norwegian waffles right there.
Okay.
So if somebody comes here and they're hungry when they leave, it's their own fault.
It's their own fault.
Yeah.
Now this is the Rowekamp right here?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like flour and sugar, isn't it?
Well, flour and, I used heavy cream and half, and flour and salt and butter, that kind of stuff. So it's, if you have a cow, it's really cheap to make.
Yeah.
If you don't have a cow,
Then it's not.
then it's not so cheap.
Good heavy, stick to your ribs food, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks great. And somebody else made some delicacies
Yeah,
here.
we got rosettes. I
Yeah.
made these, and then we got krummkake.
Sure, little
And then
diplomas.
some beautiful salmonbuckles
Yep.
that someone made.
Yeah, that looks great.
So we,
Well, that's good.
the thing is about Norwegian food, it's good. It doesn't have a lot of color. And a lot of these things I say must have been invented by women who didn't work outside the home, because when you make stuff like this, you usually take all day. Well, especially lefse.
Yeah.
That's usually an all day.
It's all time consuming, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it's great. Yeah, I always thought the Norwegian food is like one at a time things where you had to have a lot of time to sit there and make it.
well, I made flatbread too, and flatbread lasts like forever. They
Yeah.
use flatbread to come over on the ships,
Sure.
because it lasts
Yeah.
forever. And you see my T-shirt?
Yep.
Masse Moro.
Yeah.
That is the Norwegian camp in Fall Creek, Wisconsin. That happens in July, and we have this fundraiser to raise money so we can give scholarships to the kids who want to go to the camp. And they have a wonderful time at the camp. And
Who's the head of the other church?
and the thing is, any child that's been at Masse Moro, they can start at age 9 and go through 15. They go back every year they can because they have such a wonderful
Oh,
time.
that's great.
They
Yeah.
do all kinds of different
Yeah.
activities and things.
Well, that's really nice. They get a chance to really connect with their heritage.
Yes, they
Yeah.
learn some language, they do rose mowing, they do some baking, they do games, they do singing. They just love it.
And I like your hat too.
Oh, thank you.
Your chef's hat. It says Norway and U.S. on it.
Yes,
Pretty
yes.
nice.
Yeah, because we are both.
Yep, that's
We
great.
are Americans, but with a Norwegian
Of
heritage.
course. It's nice to be proud of your heritage. It's
Yes.
very nice. Thank you. I know this man, I think. This is Todd, isn't it?
Where? Oh, that's right.
I just
Having a
want
wonderful day and the neighborhood. Yeah.
So
Look like I'm on TV here.
if you are, if you wanted to join Sons of Norway, how do you do that?
Well, you have a little card over here.
Oh, all right. Send one of those with me.
Yeah, and then there's a Q code on this thing right here,
Okay.
and there's a lot of information on how to do it.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just to kind of contact one of us
Yeah.
and to come to a meeting on what's the last Saturday of the month. And next month, this month is going to be 25th of is that April? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Rus. The Rus are the Vikings that were part of the expansion that went east, that went to Russia.
Right. Yeah.
And went down the Dnieper River to the Volga and all the way to the Baltic to Constantinople. We're going to talk about this thing next weekend. We're going to talk about the Rus. But anyway, so you can talk to any one of our members if you can catch us,
Yeah.
if you know who we are.
Yes.
So I have to identify myself or what?
I think you're Todd Fetsch, right?
That's right, Dr.
Okay.
Todd Fetsch, former veterinarian.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
You know,
Yeah.
that's could be good
Yeah.
or could be bad.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. And then coming up now will be the parade season where you have the Viking ship and some parades.
That's correct.
Yep.
The first one is at the Broiler Days Festival in Arcadia. And then we go to the Whitehall or Ettrick. So we have about 3 or 4 parades we are in. We used to be in more, but we need more members so we can, keep on doing all this great stuff. But you got my hat here?
I do. It says Lefse maker on it,
Is that
doesn't
what,
it?
or is it lutefisk?
It says Lefse.
Oh, that's so. Yeah,
Yep.
we do that too. You bet. Yeah. So that's basically what we do. Just kind of come to a meeting and see what we do, and it's very interesting because we talk about heritage.
Sure, I think that's great.
And because over here on the map, you can see. You
Uh-huh.
probably can't see that with the camera, but on there we have people indicate with a little arrow where their ancestors are from in Norway.
Okay.
Yeah, either that or I don't have a map of any other countries, but it's mostly in Norway.
Well, I think it's interesting because my heritage was all Irish and Scots.
Okay.
And then I took the DNA test and it said I had 7% Norwegian.
There you go.
I said that had to come from the Vikings when they were running around Scotland and Ireland.
They certainly did, but there was the Norwegians, according to what I'm reading now, they went west.
Yes.
They went to Iceland, they went to Greenland,
Yep.
and they went to Newfoundland. And whereas the Swedes basically, and the Danes went east. So we'll be talking about that next weekend. But the thing is how they do that and where they went to which rivers. And so they basically were on the rivers of those times. And they went down to the Baltic. And eventually they went down to Constantinople because going out of the Baltic Sea, going into the Mediterranean is the Bosphorus. And so it's quite interesting how they did that. The other thing is the various, how would you say, the people that moved east, maybe even west. There's a lot of the warriors. They were raiders at first, but then they turned into farmers and traders. But there's a lot of women that were along with them. That was really interesting. And so we're going to talk about that as well. But many of the women that came along were tag-alongs, with the raiders or with the Vikings themselves. And but then there were some that were warriors that were actually fighters and this type of thing. So a lot of the graves that were exhumed contained armor and items that were indication of being a warrior, swords and spears.
Sure. Well, they call that a shield maiden.
Yeah, there were shields too, and then you think about the Silk Road. If you're familiar with the Silk Road,
Sure.
the movement of silk or trading from the east, from the China all the way over to Baghdad, and then going up to the Baltic and going to Gotland. There's an island just off of Sweden that was a trading place, which is just next to Sweden. It's about 3 hours or something like that, apparently, from Sweden, but a big island. But there's a lot of people that went to that area, and then they jumped over to, when they're going the other direction, when they're going towards the Scandinavian countries. So that's back and forth in the area, which is really quite interesting. People don't think about that.
Well, they certainly got around, didn't they?
They certainly did, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at all your medals and things there, huh? Oh, that's cool. And who are you?
Charlene Sachs.
Oh, Charlene Sachs.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's that is really nice.
Yeah, we have a program for skiers, swimmers, exercisers.
What do they call it? Cultural programs.
Yeah.
Cultural program.
Yeah.
That's really nice. All right, I'm going to get a picture of the map over here of Norway. I think that'll be
You should
interesting.
have somebody pointing something out.
Well, I can read. Okay, this is the map of Norway.
Yeah, mine are from Denmark.
Very good. Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Eileen. Yes.
We have a birthday person?
Yes, Eileen.
Oh.
Oh, hi,
Hi, how
Nancy.
are you doing, dearie?
Oh, okay.
And it's your birthday today?
Yes, it is my birthday today.
Can I ask you how many?
Well, it's 91.
Oh my goodness, I never would have thought that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that looks great.
Thank you very much.
And this is a nice way to celebrate, isn't
Right,
it?
it is.
Yeah.
All my friends and I meet different people coming for breakfast.
Oh,
So
that's great. And then who's the one taking the money here?
I'm Marlis Britton.
Okay. Well, have you had a good turnout today?
yeah, so far so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Even after all that wild weather yesterday.
Right.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's windy today.